Welcome to the Track Your Life podcast. My name is Boyd Varty, and this show is an invitation to journey with me back to the wild on the path of the story hunter. In part 3 of Story Hunter, we go back to the wildest parts of the Kalahari to run once again with the Bushmen people. This show is a journey for a story hunter and an invitation to follow the call of the wild. Episode 2, Preparation. Should maybe be called Bad Preparation. But to be honest with you, I wanted training to go better than it did. It started well, running in the August heat through Austin, Texas. Knowing that the Kalahari lay ahead of me, I started to try and put mileage on my legs. On Sunday mornings, I would go on a long run from Lost Creek Country Club all the way down to Barton Springs, imagining all the way that a kudu ran out in front of me. But then, for a number of work-related things, I had to go to Europe, and the training fell apart into what can only be described as a pasta fest. And as I write this, I'm a week out from the trip, and my training schedule is simply triage. A few long runs for endurance, interspersed with shorter, faster runs to explore some red lines. Overall, I'm having to face the reality that from a training point of view, I'm horribly undercooked. One of the things I'm grateful for is to live my life by seasons. I know that I'm in certain parts of the world doing certain things at certain times of year. And these yearly events on the calendar serve as markers for physical, mental, and spiritual progress. For example, after 10 years of winter tracking retreats, I can notice tangible levels in comparison to last year. I can gauge my fitness, the quality of my tracking. I can feel I'm facilitating the retreat at a high level. In the same way, I can sense if I've slipped back in some ways. These yearly events are like measuring sticks. And this yearly adventure with Alex and James is becoming a very, very important one of those. A time in the wild to assess and reflect. The rhythm of the activity and the geography of it forces a kind of reflection, actually. I was here a year ago. What was my life like this time last year? Who was I? What has changed? How have I changed? What has grown? What has receded? You should think about adding a seasonal expedition with the same people at the same time of year to your calendar. Seasonal events and a seasonal life create a personal continuity with your own journey, linear markers in the organic unfolding of life in which to take a reading on oneself. And right now, from a training point of view, all of my dials read fat ass. In a basement gym in Austin called Grounded Strength, the founder, Bert Massey, helped me get stronger and more aligned. Bert's philosophy for strength and alignment comes out of a deep understanding of primal movement, how the animal body naturally wants to move. Using incredible technology, he teaches the human body to return to its natural range of movement from its, what is now, computer-stiffening life of comfort and convenience. Venturing into the desert to be with the Bushmen, after my expeditions to the developed world, I'm forced into a confusion of what constitutes progress. If ever I have seen grounded strength, it was watching a 70-year-old Bushman track at a pace for 5 hours and then leap into the back of a pickup truck like a teenager. These trips to the desert are energetic archaeology. To the mythic in me, I think of it as uncovering and collecting older energy, old ways. When you see the Bushmen moving across the desert landscape, they are as of the place as the animals, old as the Gemsbok, born of the sand. And I know that I am not of that quality of time they embody. Around them I feel newer, fundamentally, energetically younger. If the Bushmen are a mountain range, I feel like a strip mall. Yet, I am committed to being a bridge between something old in them and something long forgotten in all of us. And I can trust that I'm wilder than most. In me, there is the energy of the prey. I have been prey. I have literally had another animal try and eat me, which I refer to endlessly, banging on about being attacked by a crocodile. In me is a predator. I've hunted to eat. I can track. I can feel the most at home, far from people. And strip mall that I am, I must bring you these stories from these places. Dormantly, the primal animal sleeps in all of us, just under the facade of modern life, waiting for you to wake it. In the famous novel The Call of the Wild, Jack London writes, "Deep in the forest a call was sounding, and as often as he heard this call, mysteriously thrilling and luring, he felt compelled to turn his back upon the fire and the beaten earth around it, and plunge into the forest, on and on. He knew not where or why, nor did he wonder where or why, the call sounding imperiously deep in the forest." This call lives in you, and it screams wild incantations like, "Leave town. Tell her you love her. I will not do this for one more second. I don't fucking care what it takes." It whispers with the same power, "I will for the kids. Rest now. Make a cup of tea. Say you're sorry." The call of the wild is not of the mind's rationale. It is the voice of your spirit. You have to go deeper to find it. Some days I have to go deep. For there are days when I'm in the USA or Europe, when the neighborhood leaf blowers howl, and the golfers tee off at the country club, where something in me feels like it might die in the suburban comfort. It's a feeling I can't explain, and I feel profoundly alone in it, because everything is fine, and something in me wants to howl, and I don't know how to reconcile those parts of myself. I heard Laird Hamilton, the big wave surfer, used to become dangerous when there were no big waves. I relate to him. Something in me needs to be engaged by an environment that bites back. There is this call in all of our lives, the call of the wild part of ourselves. Story hunting is my answer to it. I wonder what your answer is. And like all calls, it's easier to hear in the silence of the desert.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Track Your Life podcast with Boyd. To begin your own story hunting journey, sign up to the online course on Boyd's website, or just find him on Instagram, X, or your favorite podcast player. Please rate and review this podcast so that more people can find and enjoy it.